Hungary Games 8. Last time, Shadow the Hedgehog won, adding him to our winners list. This time, there's 3 new people. Or 2.5 if you want to count it. But, anyways, you should know how this works by now. So let's introduce our new contestants. Our first new contestant is Byakuya Togami. These are his stats. Now, the next one is Poliwrath, which you can see has taken the exact place of Poliwhirl. Now, if you want to count it as a new person, you can. But personally to me, I count this as half of a new person, since it's technically the same person but better. These are their stats. Our final new contestant is Junko Enoshima. These are their stats, and this is their last new person. Who do you think's going to do the best out of everyone here? Personally, I think the best is going to end up being Junko. Purely because of the intelligence stat. And I would give credit to Byakuya, but essentially they're just a stronger, faster, better person than they are. So I think they're going to end up winning. And of course, we can't skip out on the 12 remaining districts. So, for any of you viewers who missed it, these are the other people. Oh, and Peppino got far last time. So, if you don't want to win, you should make your comment now before he does. And that is everyone. Who do you think's going to end up winning out of everybody here? Personally to me, I think it'll be Grunkle Stan this time who ends up winning. Let's see if I'm right. 3, 2, 1, start. Like and subscribe if you like the series. Shadow retrieves a trident from inside the corner of Gopia. Thankfully, he didn't die. That would have been good. George Costanza snatches a bottle of strong liquor and a rag. Already plotting. Makes sense. Animatic finds a bow, a quiver of arrows, and slips under cover. Pat grabs a backpack stuffed with rations and bolts into the woods. Pikachu does the exact same thing that Animatic did. Markiplier palms a hunting knife and slips in between the crates. Wario does the same thing that Animatic and Pikachu have done. Kirby does the same thing that Shadow did. Jeez, what's with all these tridents, bow, quivers of arrows? What's with all that stuff? This is essentially just the backpacks from last video. I done this. SMG3 hurls a spear that punches clean through Buzz Lightyear's chest. Well, looks like we found our first death. Buzz Lightyear. Guest 1337 gathered as much food as their arms will hold. And nothing does the exact same thing. Jenny Wakeman catches Knuckles from behind and snaps her neck. That intelligence stat was going to catch up to him eventually. Looks like it got him early this time. Benson snatches a canteen full of water and ducks behind a rock. Sans takes an arrow between the shoulder blades from Uncle Stan. Looks like he couldn't dodge it this time. Look, good for Grunkle Stan too, racking up the early kills. Poliwrath and Captain Underpants split a sack of supplies between them and head opposite directions. Makes sense for Captain Underpants. Miku freezes on the podium for a moment, then sprints into the woods empty-handed. That's a little surprising. I thought it would have been something. Byakuya Togami snatches a canteen full of water and ducks behind a rock. And finally, Cool Kid and Junko Enoshima split a sack of supplies between them and head opposite directions. We lost 3 people, being Buzz Lightyear, Knuckles, and Sans. Rest in peace to them. And that means we have 33 people remaining. This is surprisingly less deadly than I thought it was going to be. But, alas, rest in peace to them, and if you're rooting for them, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. Let's see how our next day is going to end up being. Ooh, looking deadly already. Markiplier follows a quiet river by moonlight to find a new spot. Jenny Wakeman sneaks into Monica's camp, takes a half-empty canteen, and leaves without a sound. Shadow lets Tikal's fire go out. Tikal doesn't wake up. Ooh, the Sonic universe doesn't agree already. Miku and Eraser Cat share a thin blanket against the cold. Makes sense for Miku. Pikachu silently slips past Benson's camp without being noticed. Well, thankfully Pikachu ended up slipping past, because if I recall, Benson was one of our previous winners. George Costanza sets MatPat's lean to on fire and waits at the only exit. George Costanza got a kill. Surprising. I thought he would have ran away or something. Kaido lights a torch to find Kirby. The light gets them found first. Nothing strangles Grunkle Stan in the dark with a length of rope. Grunkle Stan, you have above average stats. How do you die to something that I set as 1 for everything? How? Well, it looks like I'm wrong about that. Animatic puts a silent arrow to Moai Emoji's chest from 20 paces. Wario stumbles into their unforgotten snare and chokes. Something in the dark drags Captain Underpants away. The cannon fires a minute later. Byakuya Togami puts an arrow through Cool Kid's silhouette against the firelight. Squidward climbs into the canopy and ties himself to a branch before sleeping. Peppino climbs higher than they should, slips, and the fall finishes the job. Whoa, Peppino died early? That's surprising. Considering his last Hungary Games performances, I thought he would have done a little better than this. So anyone rooting for Peppino? Haha, you lost. Talking Ben builds a fire way too large and immediately regrets the decision. At least he didn't die. Guest 1337 slits Junko Enoshima's throat while Junko Enoshima sleeps. SMG3 drives a spear between Kenny's shoulder blades as Kenny tends the fire. Heinz Doofenshmirtz waits until our ally to Epic Face is asleep and finishes it quietly. And finally, Poliwrath follows a quiet river by moonlight to find a new spot. 12 people died, so rest in peace to Tikal, MatPat, Kaido, Grunkle Stan, Moai Emoji, Wario, Captain Underpants, Cool Kid, Peppino, Junko Enoshima, Kenny, and to Epic Face. Looks like I was wrong about my guess about Junko Enoshima being the last remaining person that's new. Dang, both my guesses were wrong today. Oof. But these are your current stats. Rest in peace to Districts 7 and 18. And the districts that currently have 2 members alive in them are Districts 1, 3, 12, 13, and 15. There is 21 people remaining. Let's see how much that number can lower. Shedletsky finally gets a small fire going after a dozen tries. Animatic misjudges the edge of cliff and falls. Oof. For our first winner, that was kind of disappointing. Nothing walks straight into Monica's snare. Monica finishes the job. Oh yeah, Monica's in this. I forgot she existed because she's had such mid-performances. Guest 1337 ambushes Byakuya Togami from above and crushes their skull with a rock. I was expecting a little more from him considering his intelligence stat. But it's okay that he died to him. Eraser Cat misjudges the edge of a cliff and falls. Jenny Wakeman betrays Miku and shoves poisonous cheese down their throat. Well, looks like that's how long the Vocaloids are going to survive today. None left. Shadow puts an arrow through SMG3's throat from behind a tree. Heinz Doofenshmirtz puts poisoned dar in Benson's neck from the underbrush. Kirby nicks Squidward with a poison-tipped arrow. Squidward staggers a few steps and falls. Walter White whispers something that sounds like an apology, then finishes talking Ben with a rock. George Costanza stabs their ally Poliwrath in the back, literally. And Markiplier buries an axe between Pikachu's shoulder blades. Well, looks like Poliwrath was our last remaining new person that survived the longest, and we lost 11 people. So, rest in peace to Animatic, Nothing, Byakuya Togami, Eraser Cat, Miku, SMG3, Benson, Squidward, Talking Ben, Poliwrath, and Pikachu. We have 10 people remaining. District 15 is the only district that have 2 members left in it. And rest in peace to districts 4, 5, 6, 9, 12, 16, and 17. Our last remaining 10 are Monica, Guest 1337, Heinz Doofenshmirtz, Shadow, George Costanza, Walter White, Shedletsky, Jenny Wakeman. Oh yeah, she's in this. I almost forgot about her. Kirby, and Markiplier. Let's see who's gonna end up surviving and dying in the next round. Guest 1337 stabs their ally George Costanza in the back, then disappears into the dark. Welp, that ended George Costanza's run. Kirby and Markiplier sleep back-to-back to share warmth. Jenny Wakeman finds the cooking smoke trail and falls back to Monica. Walter White sneaks into Shedletsky's camp to kill him. Shedletsky was already awake. And finally, Shadow raids Heinz Doofenshmirtz's camp in the night and leaves no one breathing. Welp. 4 people died. So, rest in peace to George Costanza, Monica, Walter White, and Heinz Doofenshmirtz. So that also means rest in peace to District 1, 3, 10, and 11. We have 6 people remaining, and, surprisingly, 2 of them have won an episode before. So, these are your last 6. Guest 1337, Shadow, Jenny Wakeman, Shedletsky, Kirby, and Markiplier. District 15 still has both of their members, meaning we have 5 districts left. 2, 8, 13, 14, and 15. Let's see who dies between these 6, and who's gonna last longer out of our previous winners. Shedletsky spots fresh bear tracks and quietly takes the long way around. Jenny Wakeman rolls a spear across the clearing and pins Guest 1337 to a tree. And Markiplier challenges Kirby head-on and is overpowered. Welp, we all knew District 15 wasn't gonna have 2 members for that long. And I'm sure he's happy with being eliminated this way. And meaning, Shadow lasted longer out of our two previous winners. Rest in peace to guest 1337 of Markiplier, and rest in peace to District 2. We're in the top 4 now. Shadow, Shedletsky, Jenny Wakeman, and Kirby. Our last 4 districts are 8, 13, 14, and 15. Who do you think's gonna win out of these 4? Personally, I think it'll be Shedletsky. But let's see if I'm right or not. In the next day. Shedletsky has 1 arrow left. Jenny Wakeman doesn't see it coming. And it looks like our top 3 are Shedletsky, Kirby, and Shadow. If Shadow ends up surviving, then he just might be our first repeat winner. Kirby apologized to Shadow first. It doesn't change anything. Well, looks like Shadow is not going to be our repeat winner. Rest in peace to Jenny Wakeman and Shadow, which also means rest in peace to District 14 and 8, and our final 2 are Shedletsky and Kirby. Well, let's see if the person who's been in here since the beginning could beat someone who hasn't been in here since the beginning. I think it'll be Shedletsky to win. So let's see if I'm right. If you think Shedletsky's gonna win, subscribe and like. But if you think Kirby's gonna win, you should subscribe and like. Let's see if I'm right or not in the next day. Our winner is Kirby. Looks like I'm wrong. But let's see how he won. Shedletsky charges Kirby at full speed. Kirby steps aside and the cornucopia wall does the rest. This is the second time that Kirby's been faced head on. Seems like an easy loss for them. Well, rest in peace to Shedletsky. And rest in peace to District 13. And District 15 was the last remaining district. Who could have seen this coming? But good job for Kirby, though. He actually got the most kills, too. And with his win, he is officially now on our winners list. That's the end of this one. And if you want to suggest a character to be in the Hungary Games 9, let me know down in the comments. I will immediately add them into the next video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and see you in the Hungary Games 9. Or anything I post, really. I'm forcing you to subscribe.